Hi, this is Sandy with Sewing with Sandy and Lone Tree Designs Quilting, and it's September 1st. I've decided to set aside the first of the month for scrap management and just trying to get on top of what's going on with my scraps. Now, what I've been doing has been to save or cut into squares and strips some leftovers from various projects. As I've been going along, I've been keeping 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3.5, and then I also have 5s and 10s. These are the squares, and I also keep strips if they're longer than about 10 inches, and I keep them in these same sizes: 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3.5. Now, the other day I was watching a video by Pat Sloan, and it really struck me that I'm taking up some space that I could be utilizing a little bit more efficiently by really looking at what kind of scrap quilter I am. Am I a queen scrap quilter where I make lots of scrap quilts and I love to have, hundreds of fabrics in every quilt? No, I'm not. So why am I keeping these little 1.5ers? I really don't use them, if I'm honest with myself. So ding, 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 today is a giveaway day. If you are interested in winning my 1.5-inch squares and my 1.5-inch strips, just comment below with your favorite type of scrap quilt, and at noon tomorrow, which would be Friday, September 2nd, I will count up the number of comments. I will use the auto number generator on the internet so that it's nice and fair to generate a number, and I will name a winner, and whoever wins my 1.5-inch squares will also get my 1.5-inch strips, and I will send them to you, and away they will go out of my life and into yours. So congratulations to whoever wins those. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to combine my 2-inch squares into 4 patches, which will make them 3.5 inches. And I'm going to combine those with my 3.5-inch squares. And as you can see, I don't have that many. I mean, there's a good number here, but I don't have that many of 2-inch. And then here's 3.5-inch. And those are going to combine together into nice little scrap quilt. And what I might do is make doll quilts for Christmas of Sharing and just get those used up and out of my life. And I'll probably go into, before I do that, I'll go into my strip container and I will cut up my 2-inch strips, my 3.5-inch strips. I'll cut those up into these bins, so all I'll be working with are squares, and I will get those used up and out of my life. Now, what I will do then from henceforward, per Pat Sloan's system, is I will be keeping 2.5, got 2.5-inch squares here, and as you can see, I already have a lot of 2.5-inch squares, and 2.5-inch strips. And so if I can move the camera a little bit slowly over here so you don't all get sick, you can see that I've already got a fair number of 2.5-inch strips, and I've been keeping them in these art bins, and those are really handy way to store. They're not by color, they're more by style. So you can see on the top one I've got kind of tulip pink, and then the front one there, you can easily see those are solids. Okay, so I'm gonna be keeping those, and I will use Pat Sloan's idea of just, you can kind of see the rest of my sewing room as I go back around here. I will just use those 2.5-inch squares and 2.5-inch strips for scrap quilts with the multiple patterns that are available for that particular size. And with the space that I'm going to be saving, getting rid of my 1.5s, 2s, 3.5s, both squares and strips, I'm going to divide up, and I already have ordered some plain white photo boxes, and I'm going to divide the colors in this bin to make it easier to utilize these as leaders and enders. And so I'll have a photo box, a white photo box labeled with, let's say, pinks and reds together, greens together, yellows and oranges together, etc. Low volume will have its own, low volumes and whites will have its own bin. And so I'll have those, they'll stack really nicely, they'll be labeled, and when I get ready to do leaders and enders, I'll pull a box of low volume and a box of a colorway, and I'll just start putting those through, making 4 patches, and when I get enough, I'll make something, one of Pat's patterns, and I thought those were very clever, very cute, very easy. I'll do that, and I'll have a nice little scrap quilt, and then I'll decide from there if it'll be donated, where it's going to be donated. So that's my plan today for scrap management. For those of you that are joining me on the scrap management on the 1st of the month, I'd love to hear what you're doing for your scrap management today. And again, if you want to win the 1.5-inch squares and strips, comment below with your favorite type of scrap quilt. And tomorrow someone will win those and I'll get them in the mail. Have a great day.